Hello. From this point forward, I am going to be expressing from being, because I thought expressing of understanding would have been easier, but it is itchy nose. I'm not going to say it. It's more along the lines of an impossibility, because I cannot put myself in that reference. Regarding being, I have never not been there. So it's never not been present. What does it look like? Damn shadow, looked like something was in my ear. From this angle right here. Like a little dark spot. It looked like there was something in my ear. Better not be. But it's like, again, it's like trying to get a blind person to explain sight from sight's point of view without ever seeing, without ever physically seeing. Like, I've never been primarily self-layered, like, oriented towards the self layer of yourself. So without my being still primarily and present of influence. So it's like I can't fully articulate that understanding from the complete opposite point of view than my orientation. So all I could do is express from where I'm already at. I can't explain my point of view from any other point of view but my point of view. So I can't tell somebody how to go from self to being. I can't map out a yellow brick road for someone else. I can only honestly speak and express from my own experience, from being, and let that stand as an example of itself, which is exactly what I'm doing now. Instead of explaining from a different point of view, right now I am simply going to answer random generated questions regarding what I mean by those. Like what it looks like, what between being and self, those two things. I can't speak, like, I'm basically, what questions would this point of view have for this one? This one I could speak on, this one I can't. I can only speak from being because that's all I've ever been. That's all I've ever been, not by choice. I can't speak from the other point of view because the other being has always been present. You can't just stop being your existence. Like, I'm still here. I'm still present. I can't not be present, And I don't mean my physicality. I mean my being, my existence. I can't just shut it off. Oh, I'm still here. So, and I already tried articulating all this into what I just explained, the other point of view, too much, and I don't do performances. I don't do that crap. That frustrates. So it's like, you know what? If it frustrates me, no. If there's friction, conflict, disruption internally, then I am doing something wrong. I'm not talking about resistance from trying. I'm talking it's negatively influencing, not for positivity. You know, like, yeah, it's going to be, you know, lifting weights. There's disruption, pain, and everything else is there, but it's growing. It's working for a positive outcome. When you're deeply frustrated because you're doing something you don't naturally do by orientation of being, then that's just disruption. So it's like, you know what? I'm not doing that no more. After like 6 or 7 20-minute of these explaining, and then no, it's like, you know what? This is not me. I'm not doing this. Nope. It's like, I'm doing this. Random questions regarding what I mean or what other orientations or anyone else would inquire, basically. So instead of me explaining all of it, and that would honestly take a really long time without a lot more condensing than would be understandable from the other point of view, I'm just going to answer questions. That's it. 1. These are just foundational questions regarding being to self orientation. What do I mean when I say being? Again, your being is your intangible self, the unchanging structure, foundation, all of that which is unchanging of you internally. Now, that's what, okay, you know what? I'm going to stop right there. That was more of an explanation directed. I'm just going to express my own. Stop declaring. Stop explaining from a different point of view. No more performance. I'm just, honestly, you know what? Bye. I'm not paying any attention to this phone right now. I'm going to try not to. Because, again, this is just going to take practice. Because I literally just want to basically contemplate out loud. What do I mean when I say being? And again, my being is the unchanging structure and foundation of my intangible self. The body ages. Everybody knows the natural order of the body. You could, again, you could lose brain functions and, you know, everything that comes from that. Again, dementia, stuff like that. But I'm just going to say it flat out. That same foundation, that same structure, that same being that is me has not changed at all. Only grew in understanding and expression, and it just grew more since 3 years old. Not completely aware, 24/7, just that the initial moment of boom, you're self-aware of your singular existence. Your being. My being. Again, that'd be a good psychological trick. It's a selfie cam, so I could literally, instead of picturing I'm talking to an audience, I could really mess with myself and the audience, and I could sit here and literally talk to myself on the phone. That's funny. That's funny. I could too. No, that's a little too delusional for me. It really is. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to practice talking to myself. I don't like talking to myself. I like talking out loud, like thinking out loud, or prayer. All right, let me get back on track. So again, my being, 3 years old, that singularity, that is me. From my point of view, my existence has not changed. My awareness of being and the structure of it all and the functions of it all has not changed. Its congruence, the harmony, the things that disrupt it, even, disrupt me, everything, all of that has not changed. I'm 44. It has not changed since I was 3 years old. That I'm not declaring that above. Again, I'm not declaring this is nothing above anybody. I am not claiming this of anything. I am simply stating my experience. The experiences of me from being. I am not declaring anything outside of me in any way, shape, or form. Nor do I ever want to. I don't give a shit. Everything outside of me. Now, here's another one. Everything outside of me is whatever the fuck it is. I didn't create reality. I didn't make all of this. So I do not dictate it or have authority in that manner. I know cause and effect. Stuff like that. But I didn't create anything. I didn't even create myself. But yet, I know myself, my being, every part of me, and what is me and what is not me. Everything outside of this body is not me. It's as simple as that. So I've been inside, just looking outward through this physicality, not externally determined, which I hope that answers that. Like I said, I'm moving on now because, again, I got a simple, basic structure to follow, just questions, and I don't. Now I can say, okay, you know what? That's going to be a little. There's a lot of explaining there, and it's probably some already answered some other questions. I'm just going to move on from there. Whatever comes from this is that it is. This ain't performance. I don't care. I don't give a shit how I look. I'm not this. None of this. None of this body here. None of it determines who I am. None of it. My expressions I could change them as I please. I could act and perform and physically embody and express negativity, anger, being this or being that. But again, I can never change this. There will always be that conflict when there's no congruence. I forget where I was even going with that, so you know what? Screw it, moving on. And again, this is also, see, now I'm going into more explanations instead of just answering the questions. But first, I just want to say this. This is unscripted. I literally just generated these questions right before I hit record. This is open as open as I am learning to be and practicing to be. Literal, vocal, open contemplation from being, all the way out through expression. And the intricacies and the dynamics of explaining everything that's going on with that, I don't want to get into that pretzel yet. Because again, speaking or expressing from contemplation, but at the same time contemplating what you're expressing as you're expressing it, and then continuously digging in contemplation. It's like listening to yourself. It's so much, but it's fun. All right. These are just 10 questions. This is 2. What is the difference between being and self? Pardon me, not that. What is the difference between, again, I just got done explaining being. It's the intangible self within. It is you, the simplest way I could put it is you that cannot be put under a microscope. It cannot be examined. That is your being. That very thing, everybody. Now, quick to switch to explaining the difference. The difference between being and self. Now, regarding self, again, that is the physicality. That is basically your physicality going. I came to be through reality, through physical reality, which your body did. Except, again, that intangible self that is unobservable, you can't put under a microscope. You can't just pull your essence and your consciousness, wherever you want to call it, your soul, your spirit, your consciousness, your being. You can't just, here, look at it. This is the only way to do it, okay? This. Which is the entire point. The self, again, determines itself externally. Hence why everything is generally outsourced. Everything is self-determined by everything above itself. External things. What does everything care about me? How does everything see me? How do I impress this? How do I fit in? This and that. All of that superficiality, which I'm only being literal. Which, again, here's one thing I'm probably going to forget to repeat, which I'm not. I'm remembering to repeat a lot more. Authenticity is not included. Even superficially authentic people You cannot even be superficially authentic unless you are also, even in ignorance, even unaware, being authentic in your being as well. Like again, somebody loves being a mechanic. That is what they love. They enjoy the crap out of it. I do too. And again, if that fulfills their being, you can see that through like their life and their expressions and their observable being won't be chaotic, disruptive, or negative. Everybody knows a mechanic will be, cursing up a storm, banging your knuckles and everything else. But it's like, that's not the person, that's just the environment. That's a result of the environment. That's why I said, like, authenticity is never included in anything I speak on, other than if I speak it directly. Because it's self-expressing. Like, authenticity is what it is. You can't go against authenticity. But yeah, like, again, the self, always externalizing it. I hope not. You know what? Give me a second. That's why my freaking allergies are starting up. Where is it? Oh, come on. I forgot to take my allergy meds. My nose is itchy. It's my freaking eyes are red and itchy. I'm not even cutting out an interruption like that. Again, this is never going to be a performance. I'm not going to be sitting here fighting myself, making sure, when can I, worry about how long it takes me to answer, or if I got to stop and just straighten myself out internally. Like, clear out contemplation, like, just get back on track. There's a difference between being and self. See, again, I'm still slightly influenced from the earlier and there it is. I'm still a little bit influenced from the frustration earlier. So I'm sitting here literally having a freaking brain fart. You know what? I'll move it on because I'm literally... Yeah, I'm getting distracted. All right, 3. Why do I say I exist, then experience reality? Which, again, I've already explained that. Because, why do I then experience reality? Because... see, now that's a... I'm literally stopping. I'm sitting here like, it's so obvious to me, but it's like, I'm trying to see the other point of view. Like, what else is there? Why do I say I exist then experience reality? Because that's how it is, and it's like I don't know how anybody else is. Like it would basically explain it. It's like, why do I say I exist and explain reality? Or then experience reality? It's like, explain it. It's like, again, I just did earlier. It's that intangible within, and like just the constants, the constants of it. Or not constants, but the constants. TS, not NCE. I think that was. I'm not even going to get into thinking about spelling, because then thinking is going to interrupt contemplation. Yeah, I know. It's always sounds weirder when I say it out loud. And I could sit here and laugh at myself internally about it, because it's just normal. Like people thinking like, wait, layers and different dynamics of layers of yourself. And it's, yeah, there's a lot going on, a lot more going on internally than you're aware of. And it's not all biology. Like, again, your intangible self, they can explain it and explain it and explain it, but they've never proven anything concretely. Or nothing I've ever heard, and I don't care. When you could bring something out of me and put it under a microscope, let me see it, then go ahead. It ain't going to be my physical heart or my brain. It's like, just because you can locate it doesn't mean that's where it originated from. It's like, again, like I said earlier, I started 3 years old. And I was like, I threw a freaking ice cream cone at on an old lady neighbor's porch. My brother was friends with his brother. His name was Blake. No, Blake was behind. It was the house in the back. What was his name again? Crap. I haven't thought of that. I haven't thought of his name. My brother's friend, it was his grandmother's house. I haven't thought of his name in, whew. Wow, I'm just honestly, I'm just like, how the hell can I not remember that? Like, it was always so present for so long. I ain't worried about it. But no, I threw a half-eaten chocolate ice cream cone on her porch. And here's this old grandma. Like, not that old, but like she was, I don't know, maybe. It's hard to tell back then, because those were hard times when they were younger, so people aged quicker. And she had that microphone head and everything. She came out, I was only 3 years old, dude. She came out reaming me like high hell, like as if I was a grown man. I'm a 3-year-old kid. I don't know what the screw I'm doing. And then suddenly, boom, there's awareness. I'm inside looking out like, what the F is going on? That was the first disruption, and like, that just, awareness just came on. That's not the, see, there's a difference there. It's not a memory. It's an event. That's where it started. That moment, that structure of me, that existence of self has not changed since then. I know I have not been aware 24/7, like remembering every day, like I was constantly in a state of complete awareness, and No, it was just what kind of 3-year-olds even physically developed to handle what was going, like everything going on. So again, why do I say I exist and experience reality? Because I am a singular existence experiencing reality. Again, like I said, I didn't make all this. Even though I didn't make myself, it's like, well, nothing of this has ever determined me, just the physicality, the self of me, my body. That is a part of physical reality. I can't get over that. I can't get around that, nor do I want to. Four, why do I say I speak from being instead of self? Again, no. This might answer something, one of them. I literally, I'm not reading ahead. I'm going 1 through 10, and I'm not reading ahead. I'm not, this is all contemplation in real time. I'm not, this is whatever the hell comes out of me. I got no script here. I ain't got no bullshit. I don't like that crap. You could stick it. Like, stick it, man. I don't like that bull crap. I'd rather see who a person is than who they're performing to be. Authenticity trumps all, at least for me. I don't care. There is nothing above authenticity and congruence, especially from being. Because again, why do I... Oh, yeah, why? I just explained why. Because that's how I've always been. Like I just explained with that freaking ice cream cone. Which all she did was she came out with a bucket of hot water and just rinsed it off. And then, oh, I'm sorry. And then I forgot one of the points. And well, she banned me from ever stepping foot in her yard. 3-year-old kid. 3 years old. Banned from stepping foot in her yard. Like, no, I'm sorry. That's pathetic. That is pathetic behavior of an adult. I despise that woman in ignorance, not knowing that, shouldn't even allow them the authority of influencing me to even be negative towards them. But yeah, no, I never, she wasn't a nice person. No. She kept crap throughout all the way until I was 15 when we moved out of there. So again, why do I say I speak from being instead of self? Because it's like, imagine your existence just boom, coming online. And no offense, you're 3, I wasn't contemplating at 3 years old. Like, I wasn't wondering, what is this reality? Like, I didn't have any words for it. The awareness, the structure of my being, the singularity of my existence, my awareness of it was there, and it hasn't changed since. It's like, it's so hard to explain. And that's why I'm just like, I'm done trying to put it in another point of view, like, because I can't. Like, how do you explain that? Like, nobody's really that, like, that's why I hate, people are so afraid of depth. It's so fun. I enjoy it. I have a blast. Like, I could just sit on the porch, just staring, just watching everything going on, and in deep contemplation, just not speaking, just observing and contemplating is just, ooh. All right. Why can't I explain how to go from self to being for someone else? Again, I already explained that. Because I began from being. I've never looked at my existence as being like, I can't do it. I have never, that intangible self has never felt like this has been like, just this is me, like just this physicality. Even in early childhood, everything went as deep as it could. And that is the very thing that influences the body. Again, somebody says something hurtful. Actually, that was probably in another video. I said that like 4 times in a recording over trying to freaking explain. Here's a good one. Random stranger kicks you in the shin. Majority reaction will be purely physical because it was just, even an accident, say. It was an accident. Yeah, the physicality's still there. It still hurts, so that's it. That's only at the physical layer. Now, have somebody you care about intentionally harm you on as many layers, in many ways as they can, kicking you in the shin. That internal reaction is deeper than physical emotions. That reaction comes from the very thing that influences emotions in me. See there, I keep messing up. See, this is what I mean. I got to learn how to speak this way now because I've been trying to articulate understanding instead, which I can't. That is how I operate. From that intangible self, everything goes outward from there. If somebody accidentally kicked me in the shin, even if they broke my shin, as soon as I realized it was an accident, I would only be in physical pain. There would be no anger. There would be no intent of negativity towards the person. It would simply be, it is what it is. Now, if that was the other scenario, somebody doing that intently that I cared about to harm, or that intended to harm me in many ways, that influences me right down to my core. That causes disruption, not congruence, not harmony of being, and then that goes upward through physicality where I am now emotionally influenced, and therefore here comes the expressive. You see where I'm going with this? From here, out through this, or through this. It's like it always comes inward, outward. It's always from here out. It's like I don't just randomly physically react. It's always an after effect. Being to self to physical expression. Again, like somebody hurts somebody you care about. Everybody's going to, a majority is going to have the same exact reaction, but they're just unaware, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're unaware of how, they could be unaware of how deep it goes. Again, you got to stop outsourcing. Like, just stop explaining for other people or as other people. Just stick with just me. Somebody hurt, somebody that I care about, that is going to disrupt my being. That is going to therefore flow out through my physicality, emotions, that will then override my intelligence. And then what's going to happen? If somebody just punched my wife, that's going to be split second, and my brain's going to say, I cannot function. Boom. Reaction. That is how I operate. It's never intentional, it's reactive. And what was that? No. Again, that was more expression on being. Well, I can't explain how to go from self to being for. Oh, wait, no. Why? No. Why do I say I speak from being instead of self? Because again, that's all I've ever known. All right, you know what? Moving on. I'm not trying to backtrack and then add more, which is usually what I like to do. Oh, thank God there's a pause button on this. Be right back. Oh, thank God for the pause button. Oh, I had to pee. All right. Why can't I explain this 5? Let me catch my breath. Again, internally, I'm like, hurry up and catch your breath. I want to speak already. And it's like, now you're making it worse. Don't everybody know that when they have something to say and they like, it makes it worse. You can't catch your breath. It's like that is the same on all levels of yourself. Your intelligence, your being, it's the same thing. 5. Why can't I explain how to go from self to being for someone else? I covered that. I said that before I went to the bathroom. I think I did, or unless I contemplated it before I went and didn't cover it yet. That'd be cool if I didn't say it, because I clearly... Okay, I'm leaving that pretzel. Because I have never, which I already explained that. Why can't I explain how to go from self to being for someone else? Because I can't fully articulate from the self's entire point of view. I have never been without myself, my being. Like, I have never just been I'm just going to generalize. I've never been just a biological robot. I've never been dictated by anything else. I mean, physically, yeah, but my existence, no. So, and how do I look at a point of view where the singularity of my existence, the awareness of it, is not present? Well, I've already done that, and you know what's there? Nothingness. That which matters most is there after that. I'm not going to go there yet, though. 6. What do I mean when I say self is externally referenced? That's the one that caught me up earlier because of frustration. What do I mean when I say the self is externally referenced? I literally expressed that very definition, the very easily understandable way of it, but now it's just like a brain fart every time I try to remember it. I don't take notes or nothing. Like, I don't write this stuff down and sit there and memorize it. I document and stuff like that, and I'll have things analyzed, but that's about it. Like, that's the majority thing I have, just have everything analyzed externally. I can't remember what the heck what I articulated in that way. Oh, yeah. See, again, no performance. I'm sitting there. I'm aggravated. I'm getting frustrated because I can't remember the articulation I had. That was like, it was a very condensed one that was externally observable. Because, I mean, the self primarily serves itself, and if it determines, which it's determined, I mean, the physicality is determined by physical reality. Therefore, if that's the self, it will be externally determined. As in, well, this is what everybody else is doing. This is all of, what I am. I'm a body just like this. There's just like all this going on. So I'll just pick one thing and, go with it or something like that. That's like they teach you, like, pick a profession and that's it. There's your whole life. Really? I mean, and then again, externally referenced. Shit, I can't remember that. Like, I had it perfect. It's just that once I say that, once I articulate it perfectly condensed, it's like, if I don't repeat it, then I forget it. Because it's already came, realized, and put back on the shelf. It's like ego, and why is the self so externalized? Like, what? This is what I mean. Like, I don't know. Like, I've already moved on from even delusionally thinking that. Like, even when I participated in the game, like, I had the career job. I was a mail carrier. That's one thing I wanted to do as a kid, even. It's like, but quite frankly, reality screwed that up. And I lost that. And it's like, I've already done that. But it's like, I can't live for that. Like, I can't, like, how the hell, I internally was always present. I always liked doing that. That was in congruence with my being. Walking around out there in nature and freaking whatever weather and just, meeting people and people in all different, orientations and stuff like that. You see people in their freaking underwear and all dressed up in suits, everything in between. And it's like you're walking around out there, you're having a good time, there's nobody on your back, you're just taking a walk, delivering mail, and it was harmony for me. It wasn't, I got a good job or I make a lot of money, and like, I had a family I was raising. But I mean, if it was that empty for me, it wouldn't have been. Like, I don't externalize myself at all. Even if even fitting in, it's like, it's not really to fit in. Like, I just want to fit in and be comfortable and not be, the butt of the jokes or the center of attention, but just, fit in. It's like, no, I want to harmonize with others. I don't want to fit in to fit in. I want to be around people where everybody is in congruence with each other, harmonizing and authentic. And it's like, so the whole ego bit and identity and outsourcing and feeding itself, it's like, I don't get that. Like, I don't understand. I really, really don't. Like, even when I was playing that game, internally, that I just wanted the harmony. Like, I didn't want popularity. I just wanted nice people around me that were, again, harmonizing and authentic. I could get along with anybody as long as they're authentic, even asshole people. Again, my old fill-in for my days off when I was a mail carrier. The guy was he was a prick. Like, he had just that natural attitude. Like, he'll tell you right to your face to go off yourself. But yet, that was his authentic self. He just was like that. That was his way of being. He was blunt, honest, and open about what disrupted him, what he didn't like. I got along great with him, and all my customers hated him. I was like, I just kept telling, like, that's who he is. It's like, even authentic people like that is just like, I could get along, I could see eye to eye with those people because they're authentic. Even if they're being negative, even if they're not really, they're not being disruptive, even if they're just, grumpy, it's like they're not really harming anybody in intentions, so there's no harm. Again, I can't explain. Well, that's why I can't explain from self to being, because I can't go to that point of view. Mr. Kaiser. All right. Externally referenced. I can't remember. I gotta look that up again. I remember whatever articulation I made on that. I can't remember. 7, what do I mean when I say being is internally referenced? And I just explained that. See, you get me rambling, and even the questions I'm not even reading ahead on are already explained. Itching my nose, damn allergies. Internally referenced, because that is the center of self, is the intangible self. It is observable, but not directly. You can observe the expressions of it. Its influence, again, from whatever the part of being that influences the physicality, and all the way down to the deepest level, that has not been observed. So, and internally referenced, because everything is in here. Which is actually which is weird. No, not the I'm not referring to my physical heart, just like the center of being is everything I'm contemplating. It's not here. Like, if I sit here and think, like if I sit here and do math problems all day, that's up here, that's hurt, that'll get tiresome. I'll give myself a physical headache doing it. I could sit here and contemplate for a week straight. I'm fine. It's not draining at all. Well, I mean, it is if you're contemplating negativity all the time. I mean, it's not here referenced. It's like centered here, and just like internally, it's just so much. Again, intangible self. It's not like if I close my eyes, where am I located? You know what? I'm going to sit with that for a moment. The first time I really concentrated on that was after an event, and there was so much pressure, like just release from here, that everything felt like it was coming from here, which, yeah, but it's just, now it's more of a neutral observation within, which again, when you always speak it out loud, it always sounds strange, but inside it's just like, I'm not thinking of words, it's just normal operations. Hi, Pickles! Red-eared slider on my desk. Alright. I'm just looking at the clock, see how much time I got to sit here and just analyze and observe. See, I don't know. It's not... It's just so much at once going on. Because like contemplation, it's not, again, it's not, you know what, I'm moving on, because it's not a physicality thing, because like I said, I could sit here and, if I did math problems, or if, even reading a book, I don't know about reading a book. No, that would give me a headache, because even though I'm contemplating the book, and, oh, I gotta stop there, because I got, interruption got home. Or disruption got home. That's why I just had to pause that. And it's not a positive disruption. Constant negativity. So, I have to stop at 7 out of 10. What do I mean when I say being is internally referenced? Again, because that's its location. Okay? I have no choice in it. That's my location of being, is within. There. You know what? I'll go over this real quick. Why did I always assume everyone experienced life internally the same way? You know what? No, I'm not gonna quickly summarize these and downplay them. I'll finish these up tomorrow.